Hi, I'm here today to share about common mistakes to avoid when wearing temporary tattoo brows, when taking them off, when deciding what style to wear. So I wanted to start off with choosing your style and your size. My Two Brows has sample packs where they send out their most popular styles, and then you get them in every size and all the different colors as well. And that is a great way to pick your brow color, size, and shape style. You want to go a shade or two darker than your bio hair. Me, I have alopecia, so my hair is no longer with me, but I was kind of like a dark blonde, light brown color, so I go with this medium brown color here right in the middle. But there is dark, and there is even lighter than this color. There's gray. There's a ton of different color and style options at My Two Brows, so I would for sure don't make the mistake and just choose a style online. I would grab the sample pack that they have on their website for free, and I would choose, a couple different styles to try out, different colors, different shapes, different sizes, and go from there. I will say for wigs, I have an average head size, and the medium size is perfect for me. Not too big, not too small. I do know like big, bold brows are on trend, so sometimes I can get away with the large size, and it just kind of depends personal preference, what look you like. But I would definitely try them out before going and buying your sheets. This is once I've made my decision of which color and style I like, this is what comes in the mail. So I get the Everyday Brow in medium brown size, medium. And recently, it looks like this is my first pack like this, but it looks like they have perforations, so you can just punch them out. You don't have to cut them, which I normally keep my scissors. Here's some scissors. I usually keep smaller scissors at my makeup counter to cut them out, but that's great. You don't have to do that anymore, so that's a nice little perk. The next tip I would give to avoid any mistakes when putting your brows on is I have my makeup on, and when I'm putting my foundation on, I just go over where my brows are. And you don't want to apply your brows on top of makeup. You want to apply them on clean skin. So I did wash my face before putting makeup on, but I did get some makeup right there on the brow line. So I would definitely make sure where you're applying your brows is super clean. They will not last nearly as long if you have any oil or makeup that you're putting them on top of. So I just have a wet rag here, makeup remover, and I'm taking off that foundation that I put on my brows, getting it nice and clean. And I do have faded microblading. You can kind of see that a little bit there, but that helps me get them on in the correct spot. If you don't have any microblading, there are tips and tricks that My Two Brows sends out on their website and their emails that shows you how to find the correct placement for your brows. So that would definitely be something to read and practice with your brows before wearing them out. So I'm just opening my Everyday Brow that I love in the color medium brown. All right, and I'm gonna try this new perforation cutting out of the brows. So they have like this film on top and then the paper behind, and the paper behind is the only thing that has the perforation in it, so you can cut them out easier, which does make it a little tricky. I might still use my scissors, we'll see. But if you're in a pinch, if you're traveling, if you don't have your scissors, that is the nice little perk that they added. Okay, so punching out the next one. And you want to be careful not to touch the brow. You want to make sure it is touching the plastic. I have had a mishap where the plastic came off, and I guess I touched it or something, and when I put it on, it was not as clear as it normally is. So definitely avoid touching the brow before you touch it to your skin where you're going to put it. I will say that was my first time using the punch out. It's a great idea, perfect in a pinch, but I will say cutting them out with scissors is a little bit easier and you can get it right up to the brow, which is a tip I have for getting the brow in the right spot. The less paper you have around the brow design, the easier it is to put it in the right spot, in my opinion. So that is how I cut them out, right up close to the design. And then as far as placement, I go from the top, I slide it down till it looks like it's in the right spot. Place it down. You want to avoid any sort of angle with your brows. You want to keep your hands as straight as possible when putting that on. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with super angry brows or excited brows, not the look you're probably going for. And then you just apply that water. You can go pretty damp with the towel you're applying water with. It does go on easier if it's a little more damp. So I might need to get a little more water on this rag. I have my left brow on. I'm just going to go ahead and use the scissors to cut out my right brow. So, cutting right up close to the brow design. I'm getting the brow out. Just making another little trim. And I will show you how I put on that right brow. This is the trick. Brows can be subtly different. They're meant to be sisters, not twins. Is that what they say? Or friends, not sisters? Something like that. Similar, they don't have to be exactly the same. But similar idea, keep it nice and straight, bring it down till it looks like it's in the right spot, press it down. And once you press it down, you can try and move it around a little bit, but it already starts to kind of transfer a little bit, I think, the moment you press it down. So you have to be very decisive with where you're going to put it, and don't press it down till you're ready to have it in that spot. So you just kind of slide it off. Once it's on, pretty good. I can see a little bit of my microblading there, but I can just go in with some eyeshadow or foundation or something under there, but I think they look pretty good. They're in a good spot. I do want to talk about a couple other mistakes to avoid. So one thing is not removing them when you're done wearing them. So for me, they last about 2 days and then they get a little sticky or they start coming off. And there have been times when I have just gone to bed without taking them off, and then I'm left with like brow residue on my pillowcase, and nobody wants that. So definitely take the 2 seconds to remove them when they're ready to come off. Mighty Brows has this great product, the Smooth Remove Oil. It can help take them off when they're in that stage of being ready to come off. So you just apply a little bit to a cotton swab, a little bit of, it's kind of like just an oil. It's a blend of 5 natural plant oils with green tea and jojoba, something like that. So you put some of the oil on there and it helps them come off easier. There's also a very fancy product I use occasionally to take my brows off. It is tape. So I just get a little bit of tape, stick it on there and pull it off, and that usually does a pretty good job as well. So definitely take the time to remove them instead of sleeping in them when they're ready to come off. I do sleep in these. I get 2 days out of them, so I can sleep in them and they're fine the next day. My last mistake to avoid when wearing brows is something to help with the shininess of them. Sometimes they do come across looking a little bit shinier than normal brows. So Mighty Brows has an anti-shine powder, which is amazing, and I totally recommend. You just need a tiny, tiny bit of this powder, and it really takes that shine off. So I'm just gonna get a little bit from the lid here. Dab it on, dab it off. Fabulous. They look no shine. So great. So those are my tips and mistakes to avoid when applying Mighty Brows. Definitely take advantage of their sample pack and decide what style you like. This is the Everyday Brow. Another favorite of mine is the Sassy Swerve and the Classic Curve. Two very feminine, sleek styles. The Everyday Brow is just that. It's nothing too fancy. It doesn't have the high arch, but it feels the most natural to me, to what my brows looked like. So I go with the Everyday Brow. Also, it will help you pick the right color. This is medium brown, so it does look a little bit darker on my skin. than the actual transfer, but that's why it's great to try them out first. Get the free sample pack. You want to make sure, for me it's 2 days. Some people get 3-4 days wear out of them, but when they're at the end of their life, make sure you remove your brows with either the Smooth Remove, Scotch tape, even just washing your face can remove them so you're not left with sticky brow residue on your pillow in the morning. And also, if there's a little bit of shine to them, don't worry about that. Use some of the My Two Brows No Shine Powder. That is great for that. A tip for applying them was to cut them out right up next to the brow so you can get a really good idea of where they're going to go on your face to help you get them lined up correctly. And also check My Two Brows website. They have tips on where to put them on your face if you don't have any sort of microblading or anything to put them on top of. That can be super helpful. But My Two Brows have truly been life-changing. They are amazing. I can go swimming, work out, live my life with alopecia, and I don't have to be without eyebrows, which to me is important, and I love them, and they're a great product. So definitely get those sample packs and try them out yourselves.